Hello, Mounds family. Happy vacationing to you. Jeff told me that you guys are doing a bit of a variety hour, so he wanted me to be included. So for my variety hour act, I've created a game that you guys are all going to play. The first thing I'm going to do is try to explain the rules as best as I can. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, so hopefully this will work, but hopefully this will be a lot of fun. So, the first thing that you guys have to do is split into two different teams. I don't care how you split into two different teams. I don't know how many people are going to be playing, but you have to split into two different teams. Once you do that, the next thing that you guys have to do is designate a person who's going to actually clean up at the end of the game. So the way that that works is you're going to roll a six-sided dice, and depending on what you roll, we'll decide who actually has to clean up. So I've designated 6 people who are potential candidates to clean up, and I'm going to leave it to chance to decide who actually has to do the cleanup. So the 6 people are designated by little Minecraft tokens that I have here. So number 1, which you can find the number on the butt of the token, is a cow. That's going to be Greg. So if you roll the 6-sided dice in the beginning of the game and you roll a 1, that means that you have to give the little cow token to Greg, and then at the very end of the game, Greg has to do all the cleanup. So, Greg, you're the cow. If you roll a 2, that's going to be the sheep. That's going to be Cheryl. Again, 2 is on its butt. That's how you know it's a 2. You roll a 2, Cheryl has to clean up. The 3rd is going to be a little pig. So, number 3, that is going to be Scott. So, Scott, if you roll a 3, you get to clean up and you get the pig. Number 4 is the wolf. If you roll a 4, again, on the butt, then that's going to be Steph. So, Steph, if they roll a 4, you get to clean up. Number 5, that's Jeff. So, he's a little cheetah. If you roll a 5, then Jeff has to clean up, and you give him the cheetah. And 6 is going to be Kira. So Kira, if they roll a 6, you're the duck, and then you're going to get the duck token, and then you have to clean up at the very end of the game. So that's the first part. Once you know who's going to clean up, then you're going to do a series of about 10 mini games. Once you're done with all of the mini games, then what you're going to do is add up all the points, and whichever team wins gets to win, and they win, I guess. Woo! Anyway, the first thing that we're going to do is I'll explain the scoring. So the scoring works kind of a crazy way. There are 3 6-sided blue dice, and there are 2 12-sided white dice. After each mini-game, whoever wins the game, the mini-game, they'll take the 3-sided blue dice, roll them all together, and then they're going to multiply whatever the values are. So if you roll a 1, a 1, and a 1 on each dice, you multiply them all together and you get a score of 1. So if you rolled a 2, a 2, and a 2, it's going to be 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, so you get 8 points. That's going to be for the blue dice. However, if your team loses, you get to roll the 2 white dice. These are your chance dice. This gives you the opportunity to take away points from the team that actually won. So it works the same way in that you have 2 12-sided dice. You roll the 2 12-sided dice, you multiply the face values together, and then you actually deduct those points from the team that won. So, if the winning team wins the minigame, woo, they won the minigame. They roll the 3 dice, they roll 3 1s, they get only 1 point. But, if the other team that lost the minigame rolls 2 5s, for example, then you're going to have 25 points that you get to take away from that other team. So, if it's the first game, the first team rolls 3 1s, they get 1 point. The other team rolls 2 5s, they get 25 points to take away. That means the winning team is negative 24 points. So you're going to do this after each mini-game. By the end of the game, whoever has the most points, that's not negative, so most points, wins the game. So, the first game that you guys are going to be playing are Legos. So the way that you guys are going to do is, again, you're going to be split into two different teams. Each team will have a Lego kit that they're going to have to put together. Without using the instructions, you have to try to make the Legos as best as you can to the picture on the cover of the box. So you can look at the picture of the box, you can look at anything on the box, the back side of the box, you can do whatever you want to do with the box, but you can't use the instructions in the box to put the car together. You have 10 minutes. At the end of the 10 minutes, whichever car is most like the one on the cover wins. If you complete before the 10 minutes is up, and you've used all the pieces and so on, and it looks like the cover, then you win. And then you go on to the next, you do the scoring, you go on to the next game. So the first game is the Lego game. After the first game, what you're going to do is skip it. So each team has 60 seconds to skip it. You get to designate one person who's going to be doing the skip it. It can be whoever you want. They have 60 seconds to see how many times they can skip it. So once one team goes, then the other team goes, and they have 1 minute, so then they can do their skip it. So game 2 is skip it. Don't skip game 2. That's my joke. Game 3 is an aerobie, so you're going to be doing a ring toss game. So what you're going to have is 2 players, one person on one side, one person on the other side. They'll be on the same team. You'll just throw the ring toss, the other person puts up their arm, and they just try to get it along their arm. You have 60 seconds to see how many times you can get a ring toss in. So again, 60 seconds for one team, count how many times they can do it. 60 seconds for the other team, they count however many they can get done. Whoever has the most points gets to roll the blue dice. If there's ever a tie, it's going to come down to a game of rock, paper, scissors between any of the two teams. So if Team 1 gets, 2 ring toss things, and Team 2 gets 2 ring toss games, you get to choose 2 players from each team. They do rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins that gets to roll the blue dice. So, what is that? Third game, ring toss game. The next game, I have 2 pinwheels. So, what you're going to do with the pinwheels is each team has a pinwheel, and all they have to do is keep their pinwheel blowing as long as they can. The first pinwheel to stop loses. So, get creative with it. Do whatever you need to get your pinwheel going. Whoever can keep it going the longest, they win. So, if you guys are going for a really long time with this, I don't know, have someone from one team try to make the other pinwheel stop. I don't know how long you guys can keep pinwheels going. I really can't do it that long. But that's the next game. I think that's game, 4, something like that. The next game that you guys are going to be doing, I have a series of ping pong balls. This is something that Jeff taught me, so Jeff's probably pretty good at this. Each team is going to take a pinball, or whatever these things are, ping pong ball, and they're going to blow it, and they're going to see how long they can extend that hover thing. So whoever can keep their ping pong ball blowing the longest, they win, and then they get to roll the blue dice. Again, tie, rock, paper, scissors. The next game that you guys are going to be doing, you're going to be playing with some Play-Doh. So, within the little box of fun here, I also have some of these Post-it notes. What you're going to have is you're going to write down a series of, 5 nouns. So, person, place, or thing. One team will write down 5 nouns. They're going to give those 5 nouns to the other team. and then the other team's going to do the same thing. They'll write down five nouns and give it to the other team. And what you're going to do is you have 60 seconds to have someone use the Play-Doh and sculpt whatever it is on the card or the noun that the other team came up with. So, for example, I don't know, you can write down a duck, for example, on the card. You give it to the other team looks at it, and then they have, 5 different cards that they're going to have, and they can say, okay, I want to sculpt a duck. So then they're going to look at that. One person is going to try to sculpt it. The other team, or the other members of the same team, are going to try to guess whatever is being sculpted. Whoever can get it first, and whoever can get as many as they possibly can within the 60 seconds, wins, and then they get to roll the blue dice. So, if you, again, you're going to have 5 cards, one of them's a duck, you're trying to sculpt a duck, and you just can't get them to guess it, you can throw that card away, and you can go with the next one, and you can try sculpting that. Once someone guesses it, that's 1 point, then you go on to the next card, and you're going to keep doing that until the time runs out, or until you run out of cards. If you pass on all of the cards, you can't go back to them, so if you pass on all 5, you're done. And that's the Play-Doh game. The next game that you're going to do is this thingy. Some type of football thing. So there are 2 little goalposts. You have 60 seconds to try to make as many goalposts as you can. You can either use the little triangle football, paper football thing, or you can use the bigger one. However, again, one team has 60 seconds to see how many they can get. The other team has 60 seconds. If one team decides to use the big ball, then both teams have to use the big ball. If one team decides to use the small one, then both teams have to use the small one. So, choose wisely. 60 seconds. Whoever can score the most goals, or whatever, there you go. you win, and you've made me proud. The next game that you guys are going to be playing is with a Fisher-Price doodle thingy. Pictionary. You guys are going to be playing Pictionary. Again, grab the Post-it cards. You're going to be grabbing the Post-it cards, 5 nouns. You're going to be using the Doodle Bob to do Pictionary. However many you can get within 60 seconds, whatever. That's how long you get. Whoever gets the most, they get to roll the blue dice. So, there you go. The next game, after Pictionary, you should see some Post-its on here. What you're going to do is everyone in the room is going to take a Post-it and they're going to write some name on the Post-it. Some person, has to be a person. And then you're going to fold them up, put them in a hat, you're going to go around and everyone's going to grab the piece of paper without looking, and they're going to put it on their forehead, and it's going to have a name. And then you're going to spend the rest of the time playing this game trying to guess what name is written on your forehead without being able to look at it. So, again, someone wrote a name on here, let's say it was, I don't know, Jacob. So I have to spend the rest of the time trying to ask questions about who is on my card so I can say, am I a man, am I a woman, am I alive, am I dead, and so on until you can get the name. The first team to get all of the names guessed correctly will get to roll the blue dice. So you keep going until there's a winner. So this game can last quite a while. So try to be creative with that one. Again, Post-its are there. You can try to do that game maybe first if you're worried about time. You can do it whenever. I don't care. But you have Post-its. There you go. I'm also going to give you guys some Sharpies just for fun, in case you need them for writing stuff down. The next game, the final game, is the Duel. So, I have some Nerf guns in here. I actually have 3 Nerf guns. Why? Because they came in packs of 3, but you only really need 2 of them. You also have some mustaches. You're going to choose one person from each team. They have to put on a mustache, and then on top of that, they're going to stand back to back with their little guns here, and you're going to be doing an old-fashioned duel. So you're going to take 3 steps away from each other, and then someone's going to count to 3. Once they count to 3, you're going to turn around, and you're going to shoot them, and whoever wins the duel gets to roll the blue dice. Whoever loses gets to roll the 12-sided white dice. And once that is done, the game is over. You count all the points up. Whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, loses. And guess what? Whoever you rolled in the beginning, again, when you roll the blue-sided, 6-sided dice, they have to clean up. So, instead of putting everything nice and neatly down in the box that this all came in, just throw it on the ground. Give the person who has to clean up a job to do. Make it fun, and have fun with it. If there are any questions about the game, I don't know, make them up. Do whatever. Have fun with it. So, that's my variety hour for you guys. Enjoy, and I hope you guys have a good vacation. I'll see you later. Have fun.